Let's say good morning to David Bell. Good morning, David.
Good morning, James.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
Yes.
That's very, very fashionable hairstyle. You've got.
I made the effort especially for you this morning.
And it looks nice. I'm just thinking, a friend of mine, Tony, I was out with at the weekend, has exactly the same hairstyle. If he's listening, only some of his highlights I should put out. It's a sort of the chef in the Britain's Bake Off thing.
Oh,
the baker, anyway, you've got his hairstyle.
I like to say it's a distinguished gentleman look.
Exactly, and my friend Tony had that, and it's all gone sort of yellow highlights in his hair.
Can I just make clear to the listeners that my hair's not yellow, it's distinguished grey.
It's distinguished grey and sticks up like that. It's very clever, yes.
Thank you.
I'm only jealous, it's all right. Now, David, you're the Vice Chairman for Mid and North West Essex Federation of Small Businesses, and you've been there since last year.
Correct, yes.
And you own a number of companies. You set up a company when you were 17.
I did indeed, yes, a number of years ago now, so just 20 years last week. I decided that I wanted to do something for myself, and I left working for a software company. And on my 18th birthday, I was painting the office of my first the walls of my first office.
Really?
So, yeah, a number of years gone past, and been an amazing journey so far.
Yeah, and so you'll be able to retire before long.
I'd like to think so, but I'm pretty one of these people who will carry on working and, like my dad, be still working up until 75.
I think quite right as well. Now, just before we do the papers, as the Vice Chairman for Mid-North West Essex Federation of Small Businesses, a lot of people in small businesses complaining bitterly about the business rates at the moment and how they are actually not doing anything. Government's not doing anything to help small business. Would you agree?
I would agree. We was at a conference not that long ago, actually, about 2 weeks ago, and this is one of the subjects that did arise. How do we change it? I think we have to keep, pushing, and lobby as a number of small businesses to get the rates reduced.
It does. It seems very strange when the governments sort of say they acknowledge that small business is the backbone of the country. And everybody's talking about trying to save the high street and everything else. Yet nobody seems to be doing anything for it. Every small high street you go into, they've got horrendous parking charges or nowhere to park. So people go onto the shopping malls. And then when you've got a small business going, you suddenly find the rates are going up and up and up.
You're correct. I mean, the FSB highly supports, obviously, small businesses. That's what we're there to do. What we've got is 4 million small businesses in the UK which are contributing towards a large amount of the turnover within the country. Local government does not help with parking charges. I've been caught myself with parking tickets. What we need to do is, in the high street, is take away the parking charges. You go to these retail parks, it's free to park.
Yeah.
So people are going to certainly park outside the towns and the cities.
Well, there we are. You've thrown it out there. Let's see what happens. You've been going through the papers. What's caught your eye this morning?
I had a look through the papers this morning, and one of the things which come to mind is slow broadband could wipe 20% off your property price.
Really?
And they're now classing themselves, like BT, etc. Your internet is now the fourth utility service, which I think is quite amazing.
Well, to be honest, I'd be a little lost without it.
Absolutely, I would too.
So, yeah.
I moved just over a year ago, and actually the top of my tick list was good quality broadband, so I can work from home, keep communicating with friends, businesses, and enable me to even do the modern day things like Facebook and streaming videos.
And our broadband actually is not as good as some other European countries.
It's not. We're getting there.
Well, we should be leading. We shouldn't just be getting there, shouldn't we?
We should be leading. And I think, give it another few years, we will be leading. There's a lot of work to do, tremendously, especially in the rural areas, to deliver broadband of good quality. These days, we need good quality broadband to be able to stream the types of services.
Well, it's amazing what you can do. Just off an iPad, I could do a radio or television show just from plugging a microphone into an iPad mini.
Or we could be listening to you.
Or you could be listening to me. You just have to put the app in. You can. It's amazing what those little things do.
I mean, technology is leading the way, and we need to have good quality internet for our children so they can learn from home. If we get left behind, then as a country, we will become third world.
I think you're right. I think it is a utility. Now, front pages are all obviously talking about the problems in Ukraine. Does that worry you as a businessman?
It certainly does. I think what's happening in Ukraine is going to have an impact on the market.
Yeah.
It's going to probably, change the way we operate. So we need to take hold. We need to calm the situation down. I don't think sending in the troops is the answer at this stage. We just need to be aware and start to make informed decisions.
I'm not sure what we could do. Sending in troops, we don't have enough anyway, and I don't think taking on the might of the Russians would be very wise. Europe could again, actually, interestingly enough, some people are saying, some commentators today are saying, that here we are commemorating 100 years since the Great War. If we're not very careful, we'll be there again.
And that could be a scary thought.
Yeah.
I think we need to be calm, collective, and before we jump in 2 feet first, make that decision.
Anything cheery? I always like a cheery story first thing in the morning.
Anything cheery?
No, not at all.
We could look back and have a look.
I haven't found anything, so no. Tesco sparks a price war by slashing the cost of milk. I don't know if that's any good.
I wouldn't say it's a cheery story.
No, not if you're a farmer, I wouldn't have thought.
I do have something I'd like to share. We sponsor a lovely gentleman called Mick Brennan, who's an ex-Royal Signal. And he's actually skiing in the Sochi Olympics on Sunday in the disabled team. Back in 2004 in November, whilst on duty in Iraq, he was unfortunate to lose both of his legs. So this is looking really promising, going for gold. He's done a lot of work over the last 6 years to get to that point. And we're hoping all the best for him.
What do you think about the fact that the Prime Minister, members of the Cabinet, the Royal Family, all those people who were off to Sochi for the Paralympics have now said they're not going because of what's happening in the Ukraine? Do you think perhaps we shouldn't have sent or we should withdraw the athletes maybe?
I think at this stage to withdraw athletes would probably be the wrong thing to do, purely because, there's lots of people there with high aspirations. They've been training for a number of years to get to the level they're at. So, no, I think we should push on. And also, I don't think we should be bullied. If we're getting pushed into a corner, that's not the right way to deal with it.
Okay. David, you're going to come back in a moment, aren't you? And give us some more stories out of the papers. So for the moment, thank you very much indeed. David Bell, same name as a famous skier at one time. The Bell brothers.
I can probably ski better than him.
Really? There's a challenge. My gosh. Well, we'll find out about that a little bit later on. David, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to everybody as well. Still trying to find out newspaper... a newspaper reviewer. I think that's the best way to put it today. No, you're not. Yes, you are. You're Vice Chairman of North West Essex Federation of Small Businesses, as we discussed before.
Indeed, yes.
Yes. And if I turn your microphone on, everything will be fabulous.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're back.
We are indeed. You've got a view, haven't you, on the Dartford crossing?
I have a personal view. I've been stuck in that traffic jam many a times, early mornings.
Nice to be on the bridge, though. If you're going that way, if you're going to Kent...
At least you've got a lovely view where you're sitting up there in the traffic with your either your dart tag or your few pounds to put into the pot when you get over.
Now, I have a problem. I've got a dart tag. I never know when it's going to run out. And if you haven't got £2 and you're stuck there, it's really embarrassing.
You'll go around digging underneath your seats trying to find the loose change, yes.
You've done that too?
I've done that many a times, yes. And I must admit, once I actually got pulled off and had to fill in a form because I couldn't find any change in the ashtray.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but it happened not to me the other day, but the person in front of me. And I'm just taking life as it comes, but the people behind get really angry.
Yeah, I think I've gone past the frustration stages these days. So I think you just go with the journey, go with the road.
But it's all right to have a business like that where you were told that the business would last a certain amount of time and then it would finish, and they're going on and even going to put it up. How does that work?
Really, I think it's disgraceful. Personally, at the end of the day, they promised that they would abolish the tolls once the road was paid for. I'm not exactly confident on the actual figures, but I know they've exceeded that probably tenfold, if not more. So I think really what we need to look at is getting rid of the tolls to make the traffic flow better, which is going to reduce congestion during rush hour and allow people to get to work on time.
And help, I would presume, small businesses that are either side of the crossing.
Absolutely. We've got...
even further away.
Yeah, we've got Blue Water on one side, Lakeside on the other, and sometimes people will make a decision which one they go to. Basically, they're going to have to pay to get across the bridge or back.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the papers. You wanted to talk about Facebook and friends on Facebook, which is one of the stories in the papers today.
Yes, when browsing through, I come across quite an interesting article, actually. Facebook friends will fib shamelessly to look popular and clever. And I thought, well, this was brilliant. This is kind of, the social media hype hiding behind a computer screen. And, people are actually airbrushing their own pictures to make themselves look prettier or more...
Really? Well, you and I, David, don't need to do that, but I imagine for some it probably is necessary.
Well, they've got just for men, so I don't need to airbrush the hair. So,
I mean, there are, aren't there? I suppose people who would actually embellish perhaps their CV too.
I'm sure that's been done many a times, and people will certainly exaggerate the truth.
Yeah. Okay. Any more exaggerated stories or not?
Well, I tried to look for something happy. You set me that challenge, and
I did.
The only thing happy I could find in the newspaper is the weather's going to get better. Come the end of this week, we're going to have 16 degrees and sunshine, which I thought was fantastic considering the amount of wet weather we've
Did you get that one out of the Express?
It was in the Express,
yes. I thought so, yeah.
The Sun had a different story, but it was all doom and gloom.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Listen, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a drought.
Well, I think we're
don't take my word for it. I'm just,
Yeah, pretty come to July or August, they're going to say, we haven't got enough water and hosepipe bans are back in and stuff like that. So we will see what happens, but let's hope not.
I told you, I've been talking about this story on the Telegraph as well. I wonder what you thought of this. Poor children must act posh to get ahead. Peter Brandt, head of policy at the Social Mobility and Child Poverty Commission, said that children from poor homes needed help to change the way they ate, dressed, and conducted personal relationships. What do you think about that?
Interesting story.
You're an employer. When somebody comes to you, when a young person comes to you, and they want to they want to get a job and a start in life, it depends how they speak and how they act, doesn't it?
It can do. I think at the end of the day, look, we're all individual, and that is the main key here. What's the point in actually putting? It's a bit like the Facebook. Going back to Facebook, you're portraying something you're not. And at the end of the day, we are who we are, and okay, we have to adapt to situations, but let's not change who we are. Let's not take our character away.
David, thank you very much indeed for coming in and going through some of the stories in the papers. Thank you for that.
Thank you, James. Been a pleasure.
And we'll see you again, I'm sure.